Hello, I'm author J.L. Metcalf, and I thought in the spirit of the holiday season, I would read from my story, The Mistress and the Witches, and it's in my collection of short stories, Menagerie of the Weird, which you can pick up this weekend, actually tomorrow, December 5th, at the 3rd Annual Rhode Island Authors Expo at the Lincoln Mall. So without further ado, I'll read a short passage from Mistress and the Witches from Menagerie of the Weird. Cole walked into the living room and put the jugs of gasoline down next to his mistress. She sat on the couch, her red leather-clad legs crossed. One black fingernail tapped on the armrest as she studied the family tied to chairs in front of her. The two children were crying silently as the mother sat with her eyes closed, her breathing shallow. Only the father stared back at Mistress without fear, and Cole wondered what he was thinking. The man's face was serene as he stared at her. Mistress smiled and stood up. Her hands on her hips, she looked at Cole and winked. He felt his heart flutter as he awaited what was next. Mistress ran her finger down the father's face. He flinched but didn't look away from her. He was braver than others, Cole thought. With a sniff, he looked down at the floor under the father's chair and noticed the puddle of urine there. Well, not so brave after all, Cole thought, and he smirked. "Why are you doing this?" the sad woman's voice cut through the air, and Mistress snapped her head to look at the woman who sat with her head bowed. Her voice sounded hollow, defeated. Mistress smiled and sat back on the couch as she answered. "Because it is what I do. It is my purpose on the planet. It is my gift to humanity." Mistress thought a moment before continuing. "I'll admit that I also get great pleasure out of it, which keeps me young and beautiful." Snapping her fingers, she signaled to Cole it was time. He picked up one of the jugs and began dousing the family in gasoline. The children started sobbing louder, and the mother cried out in fear. Still, the father said nothing. As Mistress lit the match that would cause the fire that would consume them and destroy their happy little home, he looked at his family and then looked up at Mistress. "You will pay for this. My sister is a very powerful witch. She will make sure you pay for this." Mistress paused, the fire flickering gently on the match head. She tilted her head and tossed the match into his lap, where the fire engulfed him immediately. Then he screamed. Then they all screamed. And Mistress smiled. As they walked away from the burning house, Cole looked at Mistress. "Should we be worried?" Mistress didn't break her stride as she neared the car. "No," was all she said, as she met Cole's eyes. He nodded and got in the driver's side. The car roared to life as they sped away to their next house call. But Cole was troubled. In that moment when their eyes met, he saw a flicker of something in her deep brown eyes that caused a cold chill to run down his spine. She had looked nervous. That's from Mistress and the Witches, in Menagerie of the Weird. It's my only slightly Christmassy story, and if you have read the story, you know what comes next. And it's a little Christmassy, it's a little disturbing, but then again, it's a lot of weirdness in Menagerie of the Weird. So please come by tomorrow, the Lincoln Mall in Lincoln, Rhode Island, from 11 to 5 for the Author Expo. I'll be there with my muse and collaborator, Frankie B. Washington. And for every book of Menagerie of the Weird or my other novel, The Last Daughter of Lilith, he'll throw a free original sketch inside the book for you. So hope to see you there tomorrow. Bye!